Okay, let's start and welcome everybody. And what we're going to do, we've got up to an hour, and this is an opportunity for us to share with you some information about the Advanced Practitioner Diploma programme. And welcome to Paul, who is a graduate of the programme. And the intention is I have some slides here, as you can see, and I'll go through the slides and hear from you as we're going through. And Paul, please come in at any point if there's anything you want to add to what we're doing.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start because I think it would take too long for us to kind of hear from everybody at this stage. But there will be an opportunity in a few minutes for you to tell me, you participants to tell me what you want to get from this presentation. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the AoEC approach. Some of you know the AoEC, some of you don't know us at all. So bear with me for those of you who do know, and please add anybody who wants to come in and add, just let us know you're there and wanting to get in. I'll talk about why accreditation matters, why a program you'd be attending in a program. So a little bit about coaching advanced. If you
Moira, just as you launched into this, your sound went again. You've frozen again. Apologies, everybody. I think Moira's bandwidth has just gone, but hopefully she'll be back with us any second. Oh, there she is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why my internet connection is dipping out, but I'll try again. Did you hear me say what this presentation is going to include?
I did, Moira, just until what makes advanced coaching advanced, and then your sound went well.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll I'll show you the overview of the program, so the style and content overview, and then at the end, any questions that are yet unanswered, I'll try and answer, or we'll try and answer between us. So something about the AoEC approach is that we have in mind, when we're thinking about coaching competencies, the coach as an entity, the coach in an organizational management and leadership context, and the function of the coaching, so the function of coaching towards improving performance of the coachee. And also we're interested in the psychology of coaching. So what is happening between these two human beings in this particular coaching relationship? And we're also interested in the wider system. So whilst we're looking at the coach's identity and we're training the coach, we're also bearing in mind in all our work, the client system. So the client's objectives, the client's individual identity, their role in an organization, and the relationships between the client and the people in their system. So we're looking at the whole system, coach system, client system, and the relationship between coach and client.
And that makes it, for me, very AoEC specific. Not many educations or trainings are focused on the systemic approach. So for me, this was really an added value on following my education at the AoEC.
Okay. The other thing that I hear from our ICF partners is that there are not many programs that look at the psychology, the psychological underpinnings, which we think are really, really important, especially at an advanced level. Okay, my screen doesn't want to move on. Let's try that. Okay, so I want to take a moment to hear from the people who are on the call, and for you to tell me what you want to get from this time now, from this presentation. Okay. Anybody like to share what they would like to get from this presentation?
Yes, hello. This is Matthew. Sorry, can anybody hear me? I can't see whether I.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Good afternoon. Sorry, I apologise. I joined the call slightly late, so I missed all the introductions.
Okay.
I actually operate as an executive coach at the moment. I work with Vistage UK down here in London. Yeah. And I'm interested in doing something like this because I want to, further my coaching skills, but also I just want to know that whichever course I do, apart from the accreditation at the end of it, that something is going to be widely recognised. What I'm looking to get from this webinar is just the approach that you're taking. So the bit about systemic approach is an interesting factor and how it dovetails in with the various elements of the coaching skills. So you know, there's a lot out there. It's very difficult to compare and contrast the various
what about it?
Bits and pieces that are available to us all. So I was just trying to get a sense of
take notes.
How much was involved.
Okay, Matthew. Richard, I think we've got some background noise from you. If you could.
Sorry about that. Yes, I'm also interested in particular about accreditations that you can get from the diploma.
Okay.
And also in the workload between the taught sessions.
Yeah.
Because I'm currently studying something else at the moment. I'm just wondering about the feasibility of doing two things at once.
Yeah. Okay.
And Moira, if I can just add a message on the chat from Paul S. He says that he would like to understand the criteria for being accepted onto the programme.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Anybody else? Matthew, given that you joined a little bit late, I introduced Paul, who's with us he's a graduate of the programme. So okay. I've invited Paul to come in at any point and add to anything I'm saying from his perspective.
Okay.
And there's another message on the chat from Anima saying the agenda covers much of what she would like to know, but also would like to know about the accreditations. And she says that I'm in Kenya. How will this work?
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
And a message from Joe, just exploring all courses at the moment and exploring options for learning and keen to establish which is the right course for me. And Tracy also says, hoping to gain sufficient understanding of the programme to determine if ROI for me, as I will be paying for this myself. Hoping to gain credentials as a coach for consultant work.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll carry on, and then I'm pretty sure we're covering all of those things. And if there are any questions at the end, I'll leave some time for you to get those answered. Accreditation. So a few of you were asking about accreditation. Whichever programme, whichever you choose, AoEC or any other school, make sure that the programme is accredited by at least one of the professional bodies. Ours is accredited by the ICF and the EMCC and Middlesex University. And they have different criteria, different languages, you know, kind of, I won't bore you with all the detail of it, but we've noticed that there are some schools where they look as if they're accredited and they're actually not. So go and check the professional bodies websites when you're looking at any of the programs, just to make sure that they're actually accredited and not just members of the professional bodies. Accreditation with Middlesex University means that you have credits towards a further program. So from our advanced program, you would have 40 postgraduate credits, which means you could go on and do, that would contribute to a master's program, an academic master's program. The program is accredited, that's not the same as you being accredited. So in order for you to become accredited as a coach with any of the professional bodies, you have to have completed a number of hours of coach training, and the advanced program gives you enough hours to go for what the ICF call PCC level and what the EMCC call senior practitioner level. If you wanted to do a shorter course, the practitioner diploma would give you 20 graduate credits towards a program at Middlesex, and gives you enough hours of training, accredited training, to be accredited at ACC level with the ICF and practitioner level with the EMCC. So the program itself is in modular form. The advanced program we're talking about is in modular form. So we start with an orientation day. And this is, it's really us getting to know each other. And just to answer somebody's question, Paul's question about criteria, we have, before you're accepted on the programme, we have 2 stages. One is that you complete an online questionnaire, which is quite lengthy, and the purpose of it is for you to create your own baseline, so the baseline of your learning and a plan for your learning on the program. And even to get that far, what we need is that you are either have a qualification at the equivalent of our practitioner diploma level, or you have substantial experience in a leadership role or in an HR role where you've been using coaching skills. So many of the people who come on the program have never been qualified as coaches, but have been coaching for years. And often they're here because they've decided they actually want to be accredited. And if they're going to go for accreditation, they want to do a program that's going to stretch them and challenge them, and they're going to learn, you know, at an advanced level. So you would have, you'd complete your online questionnaire, and then you'd have what we call an entry tutorial. And that is a conversation with one of the faculty team about whether this program is right for you and whether you are right for the program. What we're not interested in is just putting bums on seats. We're not interested in just filling places. We want to make sure that that we are the right fit for you, and that you're at the right level for the program. So it's fairly subjective, really. We're not too tight on expecting, you know, a particular level of qualification only. We would have a conversation, and in that conversation, you and the person in the tutorial with would make that decision. The program is experiential, and some people prefer more an academic program, so we would recommend that you went to a business school, for example, that run coaching programs, or university. Ours does have an academic element, and I'll come back to that. So having completed the questionnaire, having had the entry tutorial, we all come together to meet on a day in February, which is our orientation event, our orientation day. And that kind of coming together continues in module 1, and we're starting also in module 1 to look at what is advanced coaching, what makes advanced coaching advanced. So there's a lot of exploration together. What we're doing here is creating a learning environment in which we're exploring together lots of thoughts and questions around in the coaching world. And one of them is what makes advanced coaching advanced. So we look at, you know, questioning at an advanced level and what would make that different to a more basic level, for example. Please interrupt if there are any questions coming to mind as I'm going through this. I'm very happy to sort of, you know, have a conversation about it. Module 2 starts to look at the psychological underpinnings of coaching, and what we do through modules 2 and 3 is introduce you to ideas from psychological schools. So, for example, on module 2, we start to look at some ideas from psychodynamics. So, what the psychodynamic school of thought says about what's going on between two human beings in a setting like this. And then on module 3, we introduce Gestalt, the Gestalt approach, and transactional analysis, for example. And we also look at the whole kind of history of psychology and how ideas have been developed through the ages. Module 4 is very much about the context of executive coaching and looking at leadership and business and coaching within that context, really. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back because my screen's freezing a little bit, but okay. So the modules are residential, and that's part of that creation of the learning environment that I mentioned. So we spend Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days together, working sometimes as a whole group, sometimes input from the faculty, and various activities to embed the learning. Lots of practice, lots of coaching practice in small groups with feedback from each other and feedback from the faculty. And I think people, from the feedback we get, people find that's probably the richest part of the programme in terms of their learning and the challenge for the participants to get better at what they're doing.
Yeah, I want to support that, Moira, because indeed it is practice in a feedback-rich environment. And it's absolutely where you can, it's an environment where you can hone your skills as a coach. I mean, that sometimes for the first time that you really get objective feedbacks about how you do what you do as a coach. And it helped, at least it helped me to grow my coaching skills.
Mm-hmm. And also that feedback is specific to you. It's not generic, because you're not in competition with each other. You're not trying to be top of the class or any of that kind of stuff. It's all about you and your learning and the development of your specific coaching practice, yeah, in all its uniqueness, because you are unique. We also have group supervision on one of the days of each of the modules, and again, lots of learning, and for a lot of people who've never experienced, some people have never experienced supervision, but have not experienced group supervision. So massive learning from the supervision you get of your practice, but also hearing other people and the issues that they bring. And of course, they're quite common to all of us as coaches. So someone was asking about the work in between. And there's quite a lot, actually. There's a reading list, which is, I always say, it's about 3 miles long. The reason it's so long is because we're interested in you following your nose, following what interests you, not to read every book on the list, but to start to look at what are the things that are adding value to your coaching practice, what are the things that you want to learn more about. But also, what are the things that you're not interested in, and what is that saying about who you are and how you coach? So not as any kind of judgment, but to start to notice what interests you, what attracts you, what kind of coaching do you want to develop more, and what is not you, if you like. There's an expectation of a learning journal, so that you're actually keeping a track of your learning, you're reflecting on your learning from all over the place, not just from us, not just from the modules, but from everything you're doing and everything that's adding to your development as a coach. We have one-to-one tutorials between the modules. So throughout the year, you have 4 tutorials, an hour with any member you choose, any member of the faculty team. And this is that can be about anything. It's to support your learning. So I suppose fairly typically, the tutorials are about what people might be struggling with, or towards the end of the program, they're about their development of their coaching model and their preparedness for the assessment day. Also, the work in your small practice group, triad or quad, certainly no more than 4, continues between the modules. So there's an expectation that you meet and practice together, as well as on the actual residential programs. Also, there's a requirement that you have 6 practice clients from outside the program. So these are people that you have a contract with that means that they're agreeing to let you try out things that you're learning. Very, very valuable. Get feedback from somebody who's just not on the program, and they can be people who you're already working with. They can be paying clients. It can be pro bono, from within your business, from outside your business. It's completely up to you who you decide to choose. Some people tend to have a mixture of both people from within their business and people from a business that is completely different to yours. We have ICF evaluators who, in addition to the feedback that you get from us on the modules, you can we ask you to send audio recordings to ICF evaluators, and they will give additional feedback, and again, very, very rich in learning. I'm having to do this manually. It's not happening. So all of that is, I've given you what goes on in the modules, in between the modules, and all preparing you for an assessment at the end of the programme. Can I just check that you can still hear me? Hello, anybody there?
Yes,
yeah,
we can hear you fine, yep. Sorry, I keep muting everybody just because of background noise, but you can easily unmute yourself to comment.
That's great, Vicky, thank you. It's just I got a message to say my internet is unstable again, so I'm here. So the programme is not about preparing you to pass an assessment. However, there is an assessment at the end of the programme. The programme is about preparing you to be the best coach you can be, and that is assessed at the end. So there are 4 components to the assessment. As a theoretical essay, which is about the psychological underpinnings and, well, the underpinnings, the theoretical underpinnings of your coaching practice. Now, anybody who's now thinking, oh my goodness, I haven't written an essay since I was at school, at university, don't worry, you get lots and lots of support in just how to write this thing. So don't let it put you off at all. And then we have an assessment day, or a year after you've started the programme. And here you make a presentation of your coaching practice, and you demonstrate your your coaching in practice, by which time you'll be really used to coaching with observers and having feedback. So that's, you know, the fact that it's an assessment makes it a little bit, it makes the stakes a bit higher, but coaching with other people in the room you will be well used to. And then the final component of the assessment is a learning journey essay, a reflective essay, if you like, which is why it's so important to keep a journal throughout the programme, because there's an expectation that you have tracked your learning and then can write about that and include the assessment day as part of that piece of work. And this is the finally from me, is that we hope you discover something unexpected. So I can give you a lot of information about the content and our style and our approach. And we find that people do get more than that, more than anything I can tell you about. And it's often what people tell us is that they didn't quite get that they would learn so much about themselves, so much about who I am, and therefore how I coach and how I show up in the coaching space. So I don't know if you can see here, but there's a little butterfly in and amongst the stones. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So, questions?
Hi Moira, it's Richard here.
Hello, Richard.
Do you offer any advice on setting up your coaching practice at all during the programme?
Not from us specifically, although those of us who have a coaching practice can share our experience. However, you will get a lot from other people on the programme. So there'll be people on the programme who are setting up a coaching practice or who have set up a coaching practice. So yes, there's a lot there.
Okay.
And also, Richard, we can point you to people as well. You know,
yes.
What we find our graduates very generous with their time, and are always happy to talk to people about whatever it is they need to talk about. And also, you will be allocated a mentor on the programme who will be a graduate of the programme. And if you want to take that up, we can make sure that your mentor is somebody who is running a coaching practice, for example.
I see.
Richard, usually also many participants are either setting up a coaching practice or have an established coaching practice.
Yes.
And in between the time that you're learning, I mean, you're continuously learning, but during lunch or breaks, the talk is about setting up coaching practice or developing business. Perfect. So you will be amongst a group of about 18 people who are focused on business development for coaching. So yeah, that will work.
Yeah.
And second question from me, regarding the practice clients, is it one's own responsibility to find those? And if we have difficulty finding those, can you offer any help?
Yes, we can. It is your responsibility to find the clients, and we can offer help. And another thing that we find on the programme is that people share. So, you know,
okay.
Yeah, so that happens a lot, actually. So people give clients to each other for practice.
Right.
Richard, did we answer your question about workload?
Yes, you did. Yes, indeed.
Because we have had somebody on the programme who was completing a master's at the same time
yes.
as we did this. And then we have someone else who actually was doing our systemic team coaching diploma at the same time.
Yes.
I don't know how they did that. I couldn't do it. But...
No, I'm doing a degree in garden design at the moment. So
oh, wow.
I think I might have to let it finish first before I do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny, fully on location crew. Just let all passengers know the retail toilet will be passing to your carriage very soon. There'll be no service at this time due to a restock at Birmingham New Street, where the service shall be commenced. Thank you.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen just because I'm looking at a blank piece of paper with questions. Oh, that's it. That's fine. Okay. Anybody else? Any further questions?
Hi, here's Gordana speaking. I have one question regarding application. I already did the practitioner at AoEC.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have question, how is the procedure in my case, if I want to start it with advanced program?
The procedure is the same. You would still have the online questionnaire to complete, and then an entry tutorial. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not automatic, and so we would be talking about what else you're doing in your life, and whether or not this is the right time for you, and whether or not it's the right program for you. Just the same.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. So the program is held in Kent, in England. So there was a question about, is it Anima? Is that how I pronounce your name? You were asking from Kenya. So you would need to come to the UK.
Yes.
The program.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, however, I'm speaking to Zia at the end of this month, next week. This is the end of the month. I'm speaking to Zia next week, and if there is any chance of us running an advanced program in Kenya, you'll know about it very soon.
Oh, great! That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's possible, because it depends on how many people.
How many? Yeah, I'm quite aware, but I mean the possibility of being able to come over for the modules. I know I'm considering that. So we'll see. Yeah.
And we do have people from all over the world, and we have run the program in different parts of the world, but the reality is that people find it easier to get to London and nearby.
Yes.
Really. So the way we calculate the number of hours, training hours you need, means that we wouldn't expect you to come on the first day, the orientation day. We wouldn't expect you to come from Kenya for one day. But you would still complete enough hours by attending the rest of the program.
Right. That's good. Okay. Thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome.
Here's Gordon again. Speaking about organization of the courses, because I'm also traveling from Germany. This is 3 days courses somewhere near London.
Yes.
Do I need to come day before, or can I arrive the same day, the first day of course, and departure on the last day?
It probably depends on flights. So you would fly to
Gatwick. I know.
Gatwick Airport is the nearest airport. And we start, first day we start at 10 o'clock in the morning, which allow people to get there. But quite honestly, the cost of staying overnight is not huge. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but you might find that you feel more refreshed if you were to come the night before.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I see. I only want to check.
And then on
it's very far from London.
Say that again. Sorry.
It's a very far from London.
No. Paul, can you help me there?
It's easy because I flew back every Thursday evening. I think it's about 3/4 from London with the train, less than 3/4 of an hour. And then you're in the middle of London, and a fast connection with the airport, either Heathrow or London City Airport. And from there on, you can be at home, certainly for Germany, you can be at home the same day, on Thursday evening.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, Gordon, you're welcome.
Thanks.
And people who fly to Gatwick usually get a taxi from Gatwick.
Okay, so it's even so.
Yeah, but I do recommend to fly in the day before the training, not to rush in the morning. The learning will be much more. Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's
Moira, I have a question from Jo on the chat. She asked, how many participants do you have on the course at the time?
We have a maximum, Jo, of 20. We never have more than 20. However, we don't always go as far as 20. And the reason is because sometimes people have to stop halfway through the program and pick it up again next year because life happens, and you know, so we keep spaces for people who want to come and rejoin next year's program. So probably our average is about 16, and we deliberately have a maximum of 20 because we find that that's enough to be doing such a big program with. And we have a faculty team of usually 4, sometimes 5.
Mm-hmm. It's a large group, and at the same time you learn a lot also from your colleagues in the group. And absolutely there is the faculty, let's say 4 faculty members, 5 faculty members. I experienced it almost as an individual training. So the large group is certainly not, or will not be, a hindrance for your learning. Does that answer your question a little bit?
It was Jo's question, and Jo says wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, Gordon here, I have one more question. I'm thinking about this, not cooperation, but this possibility to do master with Middlesex University. And my question is, do you have somebody who can I contact and speak with this program?
Do you mean somebody at the university?
Yes, somebody at the university, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm sure we can put you in touch with the university. Well, we certainly could put you in touch with the university, yes.
Yes? Okay.
To my knowledge, nobody has ever gone on and done the masters. We have the accreditation and people have that option, but I can't think of anybody who's actually taken up the option.
Okay.
And do you know why I think it is? I think that what you get from this program, as I said earlier, is very experiential. So you get a lot of skills. And I think people are attracted to our program who are probably not as attracted to academic programs.
Yeah, I know, because I did the other program and I like this experimental approach, because I'm coming from Germany and now everything is very how to say, academic. So I enjoyed very much last coaching program at your place. So why I'm interested to do this advanced program.
And there is some academic work as well. That theoretical essay requires, you need to be doing the reading, and you need to be to analyze your practice and analyze your practice. And as I said, we give you lots of help with that.
Okay, and it's also at the end we need to develop our own coaching model.
Yes. So one of the things about the AoEC is that we're not interested in teaching you any particular model. We're really interested in you articulating your model. So you've done the practitioner program, did you say?
Yes.
So yes. So it's the same in the practitioner program. You developed your coaching practice, and that's what we're expecting at an advanced level. So for you, it would be about taking what you've done in the practitioner program and developing it further.
And I saw it. I need to work on. I like to work more on that, and I need to.
Yes. And what we're interested in, and the questions you answered for yourself on the practitioner diploma were: who am I, and how do I coach? And those questions that we believe are key to you articulating yourself as a coach. And your coaching practice, and by that I mean that you can tell anybody who asks how you coach, and with authenticity and with rigor, because you've gone down to the depths of it and really understand it and feel it, and it makes you completely unique. So if anybody decides that they love, let's say, the GROW model, that's absolutely fine. But the question would be, what makes your GROW model different from anybody else using that same model? So it's not that we're saying you can't use an off-the-shelf model. That's not it at all. It's about the inquiry into that. Once you put yourself in there, what is it that makes that now unique?
Gordana, it helped me a lot to be able to explain why I do what I do as an executive coach to clients, and to support it with the research or the literature that I had to go through during the program. And the add-on was for me not only be able to explain it, but secondly, it was much easier to develop my business as an executive coach, because quite honestly, it's a lot of an investment and time and money that all of you do. But if you go through it, absolutely, you can develop your business in a much easier way. It supports your business development.
Yeah, I see. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any more questions? Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, I suggest we close the session here, and invite you, if you suddenly think of a question you should have asked and didn't, or just drop us a line, either myself, Vicky, or Mandy Golly.
Or also, you can drop a question or connect to me, Moira, if they want to again have a telephone conference or whatever. I'm open for that.
Yeah, and we always, and Paul, you know this, but we encourage our graduates to tell you honestly about the program, not to be sweet about it, to tell it how we were in England, warts and all. Yeah. So please do that, Paul.
Yeah, it's not an easy program. It's not easy at all, and it's absolutely worth the efforts. Yeah, yeah, that's what I can say about it.
Okay. All right then. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
My apologies for any technical hiccups and internet connections and all that stuff, but well, it's the modern age. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All the best with your education. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.